Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 29th of August. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you the major themes to look out for, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. This week begins with the Sun continuing its journey in the sign of Virgo. Virgo energy asks us to be more discriminating, to focus on the details of our situation. If we can make some small adjustments, that can add up to something more substantive. Anything to do with our physical health, the organisation of our situation, or even our jobs and pets, believe it or not, with the 6th house, can take on extra significance. But of course, the new moon, which occurred last week, is still reverberating around the heavens, and that's squared up with Mars, and that square with Mars does continue into this week. Now, this can add an extra dimension to this energy of Virgo, because Mars is in the sign of Gemini, which gives it a passionate desire to express ideas or to be more physically active. And the two together can create a kind of frenetic extra energy, and that makes it difficult to really focus ourselves and get grounded. So the key this week is really deciding on what the priorities are, narrowing our focus, and really putting our energy into achieving the significant things that we need to do first. But it's possible that someone could be a bit picky or irritable or overcritical, and we just need to be conscious of that. Now, it's the case that Mars actually forges a brilliant angle to Mercury, now in the sign of Libra, urging us to try to listen more attentively to others, be a bit more detached if people see things in a different way. But this angle to Mars suggests that if there are people that we can collaborate with and work on those details with, but we have some shared ideals that we can, or interests that we can collaborate around, then progress can be made. Mercury is also opposite Jupiter, which is quite a buoyant influence, but it's also important to not promise anything we can't realistically deliver, because Mercury is the communication, Jupiter's the optimism. Now, as we draw to the end of the week, there is on Saturday a quarter moon, and this quarter moon occurs in the sign of Sagittarius, which of course very much enjoys freedom, space and independence. So that need to focus on those responsibilities and obligations that comes from the Sun in Virgo is challenged somewhat. So even more reason not to readily agree or volunteer to anything if we don't have the available free time. Also, the square between Saturn and Uranus, which dominated year 2021 and the start of this year, they are inching closer together. They're going to be within 1 degree between the 2nd and also the 12th of October, but just be aware that the frustration that this particular aspect generated last year is likely to come much more to the fore. Remember, Saturn's about the structure but also the limitation. Uranus is about the truth but also the restlessness and rebelliousness, and therefore they are very conflicting energies. Now, please stay with me for your in-depth zodiac sign forecast, but if you would like to understand what year 2023 will hold for you and get the rest of 2022 free, plus your life roadmap, your character analysis, which can guide your moves, and get 30% off, please see my link beneath this video. And if you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. If you've already done so, thank you so much for your continued support. So Aquarius, your week commencing the 29th of August forecast sees your two rulers back in a really tense conflict. This dominated year 2021, the start of this year too, and that means the solar return in a lot of Aquarius people's personal charts really had Saturn squaring Uranus as a dominant feature. So, bit of a test, and it's going to peak between the 2nd and the 12th of October, and then as we get nearer to the turn of the year it will start to dissipate. They are going to be in touch in the square as we go into the new year, but I take into account within 3 degrees because I think that gives us a lot more accuracy. So Saturn is your traditional ruler, very much about your appreciation of continuity, old friendships, customs and ways of doing things that gives you a pattern and a sense of familiarity. Uranus, very much that zany, changeable, go-getting and very innovative and forward-thinking part of your nature. So Aquarius people have a duality going on, which is often not really reflected. Often when you sort of read about the archetypes for astrology, it's very much based on the Uranus influence. So that energy sees a limitation on physicality, Saturn, the first house, but also emotional, home and family issues closing in, perhaps a lack of space in your home environment, perhaps the cost of living crisis, perhaps it's the needs of someone older or younger in your situation, which provides limitation on your own circumstances. But on Monday, Saturn and Uranus are impacting on Venus, the planet of relating, which is in the most relatable part of your situation. So even the best of relationships may feel a little bit stilted and not quite as vibrant as usual on Monday. And the Sun, of course, continues in Virgo, very much about sifting, refining, improving the everyday part of our world. But for you, it's house 8. So it's asking you to refine, sift and order the deeper, more psychological part of your situation. Now Mars is in the exuberant sign for you of Gemini, house 5, right through till next March the 25th. And that gives you a glorious opportunity to really show your flair, your drive, your quick wits, and also demonstrate your uniqueness in a very constructive and possible way. But the Sun and Mars are in a bit of a squabble. If there is a romantic or playful or social situation where you feel that someone's applying politics unnecessarily, it could be you who pushes back. But then again, you may get new insights around your love life or around your needs. But there can be an intense and maybe picky and critical exchange in this week because of them not being on such good terms. Fortunately, Mercury in the sign of Libra in your 9th house gives you the opportunity, as it arcs to Mars and also to Jupiter, to actually use your natural detachment and air energy to just take a step back and observe all the potential dramas that can unfold and try to just keep some kind of overview and try to communicate in a very clear way, which would be entirely possible now because the quarter moon is in house 11 for you, very much in keeping with your sign on Saturday, and that's arcing back to the Sun just as the week draws to a close. Maybe it's a friend who you feel is a bit clingy or doesn't quite deal with a situation in the way that you would like. So there are some challenges to this week for sure, but Mercury's linked to Mars and Jupiter really provides opportunities, and clarity is the key, but also understanding your own deeper psychological side, but also that of others too.